Thank you very much. I expect nothing less of myself.
Even when people say scandal mags aren't needed, that's exactly why we can't stop.
2 weeks after the assignments were decided, the day came for the 2 trained hires to be placed.
This young woman is Aya Kugahara. Want to say a few words?
Next up is a follow-up scoop from the entertainment scandal magazine, Weekly Bronze. Regarding the affair scandal of the popular talent known as the CM Queen, an insider has finally broken their heavy silence. What will this person, said to be a parent figure to her, reveal? Let's watch the VTR.
Yes, this news program is covering our scoop too. That's a clean sweep of all the stations. Sales figures, website views, and paid memberships are sure to skyrocket. We spent over 5 months in stakeouts. It was a tough slog in the field, so I'm relieved it's become such a hot topic. I'm Takahiro Ikigami. I'm 29 years old, working as an editor for Weekly Bronze, an entertainment scandal magazine at Third Place Publishing, the industry's 3rd largest publisher. Originally, I joined hoping to edit manga. I got the assignment I wanted, but the manga magazine I was in charge of got cancelled. Disappointed, I was reassigned to the completely different world of Weekly Bronze. It's been almost 3 years since then. Hey, Ikigami! Just because TV stations are picking up the story, don't get cocky over a scoop of that level. There just happened to be no other news today. If there were an election, an earthquake, or a major crime, they wouldn't even look at it. In short, you just got lucky. The quality of the article doesn't always correlate with how much buzz it gets. I know that. I always pray nothing else happens on the days we release a scoop. That's Kakeru Abise, always picking a fight and being snide at every opportunity. He's an editor 2 years my senior in the same department. By the way, I heard you're still going out on field reporting. Being on site is for freelancers. Are you trying to steal their jobs? Steal? Of course not. I respect the freelancer's position, and I'm not getting in their way. Even if you aren't interfering, if an editor goes on the scene, they might get too emotionally involved with the subject. We need to be able to objectively view the data, notes, recordings, photos, videos that come up from the field. In journalism, you can't let your pen get dull. This is why manga guys are... I understand Ebise's point. Whether it's manga or entertainment, there's a saying that editors should view everything from a bird's eye view. But his work style is just lounging at his desk, barking orders to the field over the phone. It doesn't look like he's objectively viewing data. It looks like he's just moving game pieces around however he likes. Okay, I'll be more careful from now on. Humph, as long as you understand. Make sure you learn from my work style in the future. Saying that, Abise left the editorial department looking satisfied. Right now, the public isn't interested in celebrity scandals. In fact, they question the morality of exposing people's privacy. Maybe entertainment magazines aren't needed by the world anymore. But I don't want to go through a cancellation again. As long as the company entrusts me with this job, and as long as there's even one reader looking forward to it, I'll give it my all. Thankfully, the chief editor appreciates my hard work. At least enough to give me his stamp of approval as a candidate for the next deputy editor-in-chief, surpassing Abise, who's 2 years my senior. Then one day, the department was buzzing about 2 new mid-career hires joining us.
Abise, Ikigami, you two will be in charge of training the newbies. I'm counting on you.
With that, the chief editor handed Abise and me brief resumes of the 2 new hires. One is a man transferring from in-show publishing, the industry's number 2. He has weekly magazine experience and is considered an immediate asset. The other is a woman who only has experience as a reporter for online media. They're both 27 years old. Training someone from in-show publishing will be tough for a manga guy like you, right, Ikigami? I'll take the talented one. I don't mind either way. If you choose him, Abise, then I'll take charge of training her.
I see. Then let's go with that.
This is obviously a one-choice game for the guy. Coming from online media means I have to teach her from 1, or rather from 0. I don't have time for that. Since Abise decided immediately, the assignments were settled without argument. I can see through his intentions, but I have no objection. 2 weeks after the assignments were decided, the day came for the 2 trained hires to be placed.
This young woman is Aya Kugahara. Want to say a few words?
I came from a competitor. Though I say competitor, it was online media. so I have a lot to learn. I'll do my best.
And this young man is Daisuke Chidori.
I was in charge of Weekly Silver at In-Show Publishing. I'll prove I can be an immediate asset. Nice to meet you.
Daisuke, brimming with confidence, and Aya, nervous and flustered. It was a meeting of two opposites. Well, his experience at Weekly Silver wasn't just for show. Daisuke immediately landed a celebrity romance scoop with his own lead.
The freshness of the lead was good. He got photos quickly, and his manuscript was fast. This is amazing.
Thank you very much. I expect nothing less of myself.
Even when people say scandal mags aren't needed, that's exactly why we can't stop. Whether we continue or fold isn't for the public to decide. It's up to our management. As long as they say do it, we do it.
Yes, sir.
While Daisuke puffs out his chest, for some reason, Abise next to him looks even prouder.
Chief, isn't Daisuke amazing? But properly adapting Daisuke's ability to the weekly bronze style. That process is crucial, and that's exactly where my skills as a trainer shine.
Well, there is some truth to that. Daisuke, don't let your guard down and listen well to what Abise says.
Yes, I will.
On the other hand, seeing the chief editor pleased with Daisuke's success, Aya had a look of panic on her face.
I'm sorry. I haven't been able to turn my leads into an article yet.
Didn't I tell you at the start? Sure, Daisuke is an immediate asset, but you don't need to worry. You'll catch up within 6 months, Aya, and overtake him within a year. That's what I believe.
Thank you. But I didn't realize there was such a difference between publishing and online media.
Aya is losing confidence, but her writing is fast and good. She just overwhelmingly lacked field experience. Online media rarely involves doing your own reporting. The main job is aggregating and summarizing articles from other media. You can do that from home. That's why online media is sometimes mocked as armchair journalism. It's okay. I'll cooperate and make sure you become a splendid editor. Aya, so don't worry.
Ikegami.
Hey, if reassurance made people capable of doing their jobs, nobody would struggle, right, Daisuke?
That's true. I never thought there'd be such a gap between contemporaries right off the bat.
After currying favor with the chief editor, Abise and Daisuke came over to us. Aya showed her frustration but looked down, unable to find words to retort. What do you want? We're heading out of the field now.
The field again? Ikegami, I've told you a million times. A bird's eye view is important for editors.
Of course, I know that. But having that perspective is only possible once you understand the field. Well then, we don't have time. Let's go. I try to leave the editorial department, shielding Aya. Daisuke's voice reached her backs.
It's boring without a rival, so do your best, Aya.
Aya didn't look back, but glared straight ahead as if her panic from moments ago was a lie. Walking toward the site after leaving the office, I talked to Aya about the importance of experiencing reporting. I'm not an old-school detective, but visit the scene 100 times. That's the shortcut to becoming a great editor.
In the case of weekly magazines, I misunderstood and thought field work was entirely for contracted freelance reporters and photographers.
Of course, it's basically their job. But if you don't experience the field yourself, you can't give proper instructions. Field work is tough. Wouldn't you be pissed off if an editor who knows nothing about the field gave you vague instructions despite that? To prevent that, experience every kind of site. It's similar to the relationship between a carpenter and a construction manager at a building site. First, the basics of basics, a press conference.
I'm Aya Kugahara from Weekly Bronze. I'd like to ask a question on behalf of the magazine.
Next is a direct interview without an appointment.
Sorry to bother you suddenly. Weekly Bronze here. Can we have a moment?
Finally, a stakeout. I spent days having Aya experience every possible reporting scene. From the outside, it might have looked like I was dragging a rookie around aimlessly. Ultimately, an editor's job is at a desk. But knowing the field or not is the turning point for whether you can do the job or not. This is one thing I'm sure of.
I'm starting to grasp something. Reporting is tough but fun. Rewarding but difficult. I need to properly control these messy emotions. This mix of good and bad, joy and sorrow. So an editor who can understand the situation without being on site needs to give calm instructions.
I'm glad you understand. You really worked hard up until now.
It's all thanks to you, Ikigami. Thank you so much.
Triggered by this day, Aya started gathering support from freelancers, and her reporting began to run smoothly. The effect immediately appeared in the form of a published scoop.
Ikigami, look! The article I was in charge of got the lead color pages for the first time!
Overwhelmed with joy, Aya hugged me without caring who was watching. Wait, Aya! Knowing her earnest efforts up to this point, the other editorial staff members all congratulated Aya. Thanks to 100 field visits, Aya grew rapidly and landed her first scoop, but Daisuke wasn't losing either. He continued to handle many articles every week, actively working as a core member of Weekly Bronze.
How about it, Chief? Please evaluate my ability as a trainer for raising Daisuke up.
Right. Since Daisuke is performing this well, there must have been considerable hidden effort on your part, Abase.
Exactly, you get it.
So, you can take a break from being a trainer. Starting this week, I want you to focus on creating your own articles, Abase.
Huh?
How many weeks do you think it's been since you had your own assigned article? Being a trainer doesn't exempt you from that. For the record, Ikigami has been writing his own every week while training Aya. Try to learn a little from him.
Yes.
Under those circumstances, as soon as Abase started focusing on his own articles, a strange change occurred in the department. As soon as Abase started firing off scoops, Daisuke, who had been producing results smoothly until then, fell into a massive slump.
Why? Why?
To prevent information leaks, we can't know what leads other teams are chasing, even in the same department. But I could sense that he was in trouble, unable to get photos for romance leads that should have been a sure thing.
I'm on fire, just what you'd expect from me.
Probably, the cause is the pressure to get better leads than Abase, who is in the same team and in top form. But everyone has slumps. This is something only he can overcome himself.
Abase, come here a sec.
Coming.
Since we're on different teams, I can only watch. I stared at him intently. Even after that, for about a month, there was no sign of Daisuke recovering. One day, when I returned to the editorial department after reporting, Daisuke was negotiating directly with the chief editor in a harsh tone. Next to the frowning chief editor stood Abase, looking pale. What happened?
I don't know the details, but it looks like he's asking to change his trainer from Abase to you, Ikigami.
Huh? Actually, Daisuke had been skeptical of Abase shortly after being assigned. The reasons go without saying. His attitude toward me and his arrogant posture, which he didn't even hide from the chief editor. It was fine as long as he was getting results, so Daisuke faked smiles to get along, but falling into a slump took away that leeway.
Look at my lead this week. That handsome comedian's 5-timing affair. Amazing response, right? That comedian got cocky just because he's a little popular. No wonder women hate him.
Right.
Abase, despite being the trainer, didn't even consider Daisuke who was in a slump, and just boasted about himself.
If I got serious without the shackle being a trainer, I could have always done this much. It might be tough, but I hope you can overcome your wall and climb up to my level soon, Daisuke.
Therefore, I cannot follow Abase any longer. I request a change of trainer.
If I hurt you, I apologize. I thought you were okay because you're talented, Daisuke. So, hey, let's reconsider.
No, I refuse. I want to learn from Ikigami.
Alright.
Chief?
Regarding that, I want to ask one thing. Ikigami is already assigned as Aya's trainer. Considering his capacity, training 2 people at once will be difficult. You must realize that, so why Ikigami?
Before anyone knew it, the department had fallen silent. In the midst of that, he answered quietly.
Because he is an amazing person worthy of respect. About 2 weeks falling into my slump, Aya spoke to me after work.
Daisuke, are you okay?
What? Did you come to mock me? Since you're in top form right now.
Well, Honestly, I don't really care about you, and I think you're kind of unpleasant. But Ikegame told me to try talking to you.
Huh?
He said if he interferes, Abise might get worse, and it might be easier for you to speak your mind to me. Ikegame said this. Daisuke hates Abise, doesn't he?
What?
That reaction hit the bullseye, huh?
How?
I don't know that much, but he said that's why he's worried about you. He said before you could brush it off, but in a slump you probably don't have that leeway. Well, even from my perspective, Abise's attitude is terrible.
I pride myself on being street smart. So first, I was surprised by his observational skills. To begin with, I was also curious why Aya suddenly started improving. I knew it was thanks to Ikegami's training, so I took this opportunity to ask. Then Aya said this. Visit the scene 100 times. A sharp observational eye that notices even the subtleties of human emotion in a gritty but grounded way of thinking. And above all, the greatness of character to worry about and care for a disagreeable rookie from another team. Those are the reasons I wish to beg for Ikegami's teachings.
His words echo through the silent apartment. Then, a few seconds later, everyone erupted in cheers and started clapping.
I see. I understand the reason. Ikegami,
Yes.
if there's such a solid reason, I want to entrust Daisuke to you. Taking on 2 rookies is unprecedented, but can you do it?
Aya is just starting to stand on her own, so I can do it.
Well, wait a minute, then what about me?
Obviously. I told you, didn't I? If you're a trainer, you need to look out for Daisuke, especially now that he's struggling.
Ugh.
But you just gave lip service, didn't listen, neglected following up on Daisuke, and only chased your own numbers.
That's...
And I didn't warn you just once. Since Daisuke entered his slump, I've warned you 3 times already. 1 month. I thought I'd wait and see for 1 month, but... Far from neglecting him, you got cocky, bragged about yourself, and put pressure on him. Mocking Ikegami shows a lack of character. But even if I concede 10,000 steps, if you're gonna mock him, at least become way more talented than Ikegami first.
Eek.
The chief editor's angry roar echoed through the office, which is cluttered and shouldn't echo.
Either way, if things didn't look good after a month, I plan to remove you. No matter how good your numbers are, with character that twisted, don't expect a promotion anytime soon.
No way.
Well, truly talented people don't mock others anyway.
Muttering that in disgust, the chief editor looked at me with powerful eyes.
Alright, Ikegami, I'm counting on you for Daisuke.
Yes, understood. Daisuke bowed, saying please take care of me. And so, the issue with Daisuke headed toward a resolution.
I apologize for my unpleasant attitude until now.
The first thing he did after transferring to my team was apologize to Aya. He wasn't like that to me or the other seniors and bosses, but his attitude was bad only toward his contemporary, Aya. He seemed to be aware of it himself.
Honestly, it really pissed me off. So I'll forgive you with 1 slap.
Hey. Thus began my days of being in charge of both Aya and Daisuke as a trainer.
This week, I have 2 assigned articles totaling 6 pages. How about you, Daisuke?
Not good enough. I have 2 as well, but 1 is a feature, so it's 8 pages. I win this week.
Damn it! I have a special scoop lined up, so I definitely won't lose next week.
But since they are both practically independent, it's not much of a burden. Daisuke broke out of his slump, and far from being a burden, I'm enjoying watching the 2 of them compete as rivals now. However, Abise is completely dissatisfied with this situation. From the day he was removed as Daisuke's trainer, for some reason, he suddenly couldn't secure new leads. Several weeks passed without him handling a single article, and he was losing his place in the editorial department.
Damn it, why am I being treated like this? I absolutely won't let this end here.
Then one day, Abase was meeting someone in a private room at a high-end Japanese restaurant.
What is it? Saying you have something to discuss so suddenly.
The person who appeared in the private room was a female executive from the major entertainment agency, Tsukipura Promotion.
I'll get straight to the point. From now on, when a Weekly Bronze plans a stakeout on your agency's talents, I intend to inform you in advance.
What? While that has benefits for us, doesn't it only have downsides for Weekly Bronze?
That's why, as a condition for promising advance tips, you must give me a romance lead on another agency every month. You can protect your talent, we get fresh leads. It's a win-win for both of us, isn't it?
Yes, there was a trick to why Abase continued to produce results. He was making these corrupt contracts.
With all due respect, if it were editorial policy, that would be one thing, but relying on your individual discretion, Abase, how much can I trust this?
Are you sure you want to be saying that? There are already agencies that have contracted with me personally. I can't contract with every agency either. If you don't hurry, you won't be able to protect your talents.
By the way, which agencies have already signed?
Well, this is highly confidential, but I'll tell only you, Tsukipuro. It's Kuzukuzu Company.
At that moment, the door to the private room opened.
Why is the chief editor here?
The person who entered was none other than the chief editor.
Thank you for keeping the line open.
After thanking her, the chief editor turned to face Abase. So you were connected with Kuzukuzu Company behind the scenes after all.
Gah!
If information flows beforehand, there's no way Daisuke's stakeouts would succeed. No wonder he suddenly fell into a slump, right? Leaking to agencies and getting other leads as bargaining chips. There have always been seniors stealing juniors' leads, but wow, you really thought this through.
No.
This way, even if you steal a lead, you won't get caught, right? And you get a new lead yourself. You know, I personally suspected for a long time that you were doing something. It didn't look like you were stealing leads from others, and there was no evidence, but my sixth sense told me that this guy has some ulterior motive. That's when Daisuke, who had been doing well, suddenly hit a slump the moment you started writing articles. It could have been the pressure of you landing scoop after scoop, or the usual slump where we just can't get the shot. But to me, already suspicious, it was just too fishy. So, I decided to make a little move. I asked every agency where I have influence to let me know if you approached them with a deal. You didn't show your tail easily, so it took longer than expected, but you finally showed it. Thanks. Were you panicked because you were branded as a trainer and couldn't get promoted? To think you'd propose a deal to such a big shot.
Abase was so terrified he couldn't speak properly. Smiling gently at him, the chief editor began to speak in a kind voice.
Or perhaps... Did you think you wouldn't get caught again? By me, the incompetent chief editor who never noticed until now, huh?
Eek!
Yeah, I am incompetent. It makes me sick that I couldn't realize it until it got to this point. Choosing you as a trainer just because there was no one else was the worst mistake too. Who's the most pitiful one here? It's Daisuke, who joined us only to suffer hardships he didn't deserve. I feel terrible for him, so I'm gonna do it. Even if my own job is on the line, I will thoroughly expose your evil deeds.
Saying that, the chief editor stood up while still gripping Abase's collar. Then he turned to the executive of Tsukipura Promotion and bowed deeply.
I am truly sorry for what our employee has done.
No, it's fine. It was a request from you after all. In exchange, please ensure you don't stake us out for the next year, as promised.
Yes, I understand. Thank you for your cooperation.
Abase, whose body was trembling from the chief editor's terror, couldn't struggle anymore. He was dragged all the way back to the company by the silent chief editor, wetting himself along the way. Now, as for Kakeru Abase upon arriving at the company,
I was connected with 3 managers from Kuzukuzu Company, and 2 from Itsuka Tosan to Show Production. Also, 2 managers from Hofukuga Kawaii to Show Kogyo. The ones I've dealt with so far are
Succumbing to the chief editor's pressure, he confessed all the people he was connected with and all his past deeds. The chief editor recorded this and immediately reported to the higher-ups. Ebise was suspended pending fact confirmation. As a result of the internal investigation, evidence was found, and his misconduct was confirmed. When given a final chance to explain himself, he honestly admitted everything, and was given a disciplinary dismissal.
Fired, huh?
It was a future he knew would come if evidence was found. While many try to be clever and resign voluntarily before that happens, he didn't choose that. The reason is...
If you try to resign voluntarily, the people who were victimized without knowing, they won't be able to rest in peace. If you do that, I'll quit too, and chase you to the ends of the earth.
Yes.
Because the chief editor threatened him like that after the suspension was decided and everyone dispersed. Actually, the chief editor is a talented person who took his current position at the youngest age in the company's history. When he says he'll do something, he goes all the way. Thus, Kakeru Abise disappeared from this industry. By the way, the managers from the other companies who were connected with him also received punishments. It seems there were deals made among the upper management regarding this. I wonder if it was really okay for it to not go public. We are just company dogs after all. As people handling scoops, it was frustrating that we had no choice but to follow the company if they chose self-preservation. Behind the scenes, the chief editor was actually making moves vigilantly, but that's a story for another time.
However, lately, the argument that celebrities should also be allowed privacy is getting stronger, isn't it? Like, leave them alone if it's not a crime, even if it's romance or an affair. Or asking what's the point of weekly magazines? Aren't we unnecessary?
As for us, we successfully finished the 6-month training period stipulated by the company, and today, the 3 of us are drinking at an izakaya. I didn't have anything to teach them in the last 2 months, but these 2 dutiful people threw a thank you party for me. It's entertainment, so only those interested should watch, and those who find it unpleasant don't have to look. Why does the culture of weekly magazines and their very existence have to be denied? It's sad. We were having such trivial conversation while drinking, but for some reason, Daisuke looked awkward. Is something wrong?
No. Thanks to the 100 field visits you taught me, Ikagami, I'm truly grateful that I can get even more scoops now. But actually, because I walked around everywhere every day for field reporting training, I accidentally took a picture like this.
Daisuke, biting his lower lip in distress, showed me a single photo saved on his smartphone. There, walking happily hand in hand on a night street, was a picture of me and Aya. This is bad! Right of likeness? Privacy? Aren't we infringing on one of those?
When was this? I was drunk and don't remember much, but for now I think I'll buy that photo.
Why don't you just admit it? Why are the people taking the photos reacting exactly like the people being taken? Haha!
Ultimately, celebrities are humans, and the media are humans too. We get drunk, and sometimes we fall into unexpected love. I realize once again the importance of living honestly without secrets.
Hello, Brittany here. Very male-heavy volume today, but that is okay. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time. Bye!